Today on the Relationship Renovation Podcast, we are doing the Relationship Renovation Sexual Intimacy Inventory. It's a worksheet that Tara's created.
EJ, are you currently satisfied with the frequency of your sexual intimacy?
No. Tara, are you currently satisfied with the frequency?
I'm totally satisfied.
That's an amazing way for you and your partner to have a really thoughtful conversation about your sexual relationship. Have fun with your partner going through this.
So the more you share your experience with me helps me deepen into my own experience as well. You guys, listen, it's okay if it's not okay. Okay? Just hear that.
Okay.
Hello all and welcome to the Relationship Renovation Podcast. I'm Tarah Kirwin.
And my name is EJ Kirwin. And I think we're kind of cracking up right now because we're going to do what is going to be a very useful tool for you at home.
We think so.
It's
new for.
It's a new thing for our center. Tara's put it together.
It's not even in our workbooks yet. It's not at our at-home program yet, but it will be.
She's going over all of our workbook stuff that goes into our at-home program that all of our clients who come into our center work through, and she's created a new inventory. It's the Relationship Renovation Sexual Intimacy Inventory.
And this is the first time anybody is going to go through it. And I thought, why not have us start to see how it feels good? And this is actually for the purpose of before our couples, whether they're doing the at-home program or the in-office model, before they start our intimacy section, which is like 4 pieces. This is more of like inventory to get a good read before beginning the intimacy series. Yeah, and we're not going to go too in depth, but we just wanted to give you guys a great model and some questions that you can ask each other to get a good read that doesn't have to be triggering, right? It's just getting a good read on each other's, because if you do want to have a healthier, more robust, intimate life, I feel like some of these questions are really important. And yes. I did my research. This took me 3 weeks to develop, and I tried to make it very short, but also robust.
And, we do get this, sometimes before we were recording this, Tara and I were like, do people really want to hear this from us? But we do get a lot of feedback from our listeners saying they like when we share our own story or we share how we talk to each other about these things, because it creates a framework for you. So we're going to be like really aware about not like totally oversharing, but totally. Also like one thing that's important to kind of tune into is sort of the tone in which we try to answer these questions and the way in which we listen to each other.
And if you need this, I think I want to make this like a free downloadable on our website. So we can do that. Or if for some reason you can't go to our website, just send us an email and I will send you over this form.
I mean, if they can't get to our website, they're not going to be able to email us, Sarah.
Would you stop? Okay. Okay, EJ, are you ready? So we're just going to, again, because of time purposes, like hopefully this conversation lasts about 45 minutes. We're going to kind of shorten it up a little just so we're not, boring anybody, but I don't think it'll be boring. But again, know that we have not gone through this together. It's our first time. So anything could happen. EJ, you're already reading before you can't look.
Okay.
You can't look before I start asking the question.
Okay, I'm just trying to figure out which one I'm answering first.
We're going to just go through it all together.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's 4 parts. The 4 parts are emotional and relational safety, sexual satisfaction and frequency, past experiences and current challenges, growth and communication. And then there's like little 4 questions.
Yeah, this isn't overwhelming. I think this is definitely something you and your partner can do. It's not a huge thing, but you're going to come out of this knowing more about each other.
And look at us. We're being models, putting ourselves out there. Okay.
Let's go.
I'm going to have you answer first.
Okay, great.
All right. So section 1, emotional and relational safety. Do you feel emotionally safe with your partner during sexual intimacy? I guess if you're reading this to each other, EJ, do you feel emotionally safe with me during sexual intimacy?
So emotionally safe, like I can share my feelings. You're going to be receptive. I would say mostly yes.
Oh, that's surprising.
I would say mostly.
And I'm not getting defensive
I feel emotionally safe. I guess I have like a little bit of like a caretaking side or a conflict avoidance side, that if I was to share something that you might see as a criticism, that I might struggle a little bit there.
So you're still working on that, but for the most part.
I'm still working at. Also, there's just like an interesting thing about like, what exactly does that mean? Like during sexual intimacy, like that, so that's a little bit like, I would have to unpack that a little bit deeper too.
So to me, feeling emotionally safe with your partner during sexual intimacy means that I can share with you if that feels okay, if that doesn't feel okay, if I feel connected or not connected in that moment, that I feel like really attuned to you. And I would say, absolutely, I feel very emotionally safe with you during sexual intimacy.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah. Okay, second question. Are you able to communicate your needs, desires, and boundaries clearly and without fear of judgment? That's for you to answer first.
I would say I probably feel very free to express my boundaries. I think I might struggle more about my needs and desires.
And why do you think that is? Help me understand.
Because like I have a perception that our needs and our desires are not necessarily close together, or that mine might be too much or too like maybe bold or adventurous right now for where we are at in that realm. So I guess I would be cautious, because I think maybe I'd have a little bit of fear of rejection, or just like, yeah. So I would say the needs and desires part would be harder for me. But I feel like I could definitely share my boundaries.
Okay. Just for time purposes, like I couldn't go there, but if you're listening to this, like you would definitely want to explore like, hey, EJ, is there anything I can do that would make you feel more supported around sharing your needs and desires, even if they are like for you, you don't feel like they'd be aligned, but I don't even know.
Sure.
Right? So you would want to be like, hey, is there anything I can do? Actually, I'm just going to ask you, is there anything that I can do that would support you sharing, even if they are different, sharing your needs and desires without fear of judgment?
I think it would be helpful for me if like you brought up that conversation. Like, I think like if I felt like I had to find a place to tell you about my desires or things that I'm curious about exploring or whatever, like that would be harder for me right now, because I struggle to know like what's the time that's like has the highest likelihood of this succeeding. And if instead like you came to me and you were like, hey, I'd really like to talk about that with you, like I think that would make it like easier, because it would be like you were welcoming me to share those things.
Yes. So I'm hearing that if I said, hey, EJ, I really want to create that space for you to talk about your needs and desires, that would feel, even if I didn't want to talk about my own, right? But it's welcoming a space for you to talk about that. That would feel really good. Awesome.
I would love that.
Perfect.
I got time later this evening if you want to do that.
Am I able to communicate my needs and desires and boundaries clearly and without fear of judgment? I would say yes. I'm still learning how to communicate my needs and desires. So like that's something I'm working on in my own therapy. But I feel like when I do more so that I would not feel judged at all. I have no fear of judgment.
Do you need me to be curious about them, or are you just like in a zone where you're like, no, you can tell me?
I'm good. Yeah, I would tell you.
Okay.
Perfect.
We just want to tell you all about something that we offer, which is the Relationship Renovation at Home program. It's basically the way in which we've worked with couples for years in our counseling center, but a way that you and your partner can do it at home. It
gives couples structure to build that emotional safety and the skills that we didn't learn, but that are so essential to learn in building a healthy relationship.
Yeah, there's lessons, there are videos. It's a real structured way for you and your partner to reconnect. So just go to our website. There's a tab on top, online programs, and you can download a free sample. You can check it out. We know it's made a significant difference in hundreds of couples' relationships. So please go check that out.
All right. Do you feel your partner respects your sexual boundaries? That's the next question.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely. Like, yeah, I have a hard time with a context for that because I feel like sometimes like the higher desire partner has less boundaries around it, So like I don't have a ton of like boundaries with you, boundaries like imply that on some level you cross something. And I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
And so you don't do that. So I'm not like, I feel like if I was like, ooh, I don't like that.
That I would be respectful.
I think you would be respectful.
Yeah. I for sure feel like you respect my sexual boundary. And this is a really good, maybe an example, but like, remember how like you would get like real frisky at like 9:00 at night, like the only time. And I would be like, EJ, like tonight, like whenever we just get into bed and that's when like we talk about it, or you want to have that happen, like that doesn't feel good to me because I'm already exhausted. And so I think like we able to talk about it at different times throughout the day, not just like at 9:00 at night, because that boundary felt very overwhelming to me. And then it felt like, oh, that's just when it's going to happen at 9:00 at night when I'm already exhausted. So I feel like I created that boundary and you've been very respectful of it. So yes, that leads me into definitely feeling that you respect my boundaries, even talking about it. All right. And the final question in the emotional and relational safety section is, do you feel connected to your partner outside of sexual activity?
Oh, for sure.
And
I would say, yeah. I would say that's like I feel very like that's where we are most connected is sort of outside of that.
In what area do you feel most connected to me outside of sexual activity?
I feel like you really care about my feelings.
I do.
I feel like you want me to open up in vulnerable ways. I feel like you've become much more skilled at being like supportive of me when I'm feeling a little bit stressed out. So in a lot of ways, like tons of ways.
And I feel very connected to like the friendship part of us outside of physical sexual intimacy. Like I call you all the time. You're the first person I call when anything good or bad happens. Like you're the first person I want to go to. That's where I feel like, oh, like you're my best friend. That's what it feels like.
Nice.
Yeah. So, okay. So hang on. If you guys are watching this, I can feel a reaction that's happening from you.
Yeah. Well, because this is like, that's kind of our thing right now is like the next level, is like we're trying to sort of find our way back to that. And so
back to what?
The friskiness, the friskiness.
See, here's what's interesting. I don't feel that way. You do.
Sure.
Right? Because I feel very connected to you and like, whether the frequency is not as much as you would like that for me, like it's not like it doesn't eat up at me. Do you know what I mean? Like it's not gnawing at me, but for you it is.
For sure.
So and I think that a lot of couples feel the same way, right? So when I'm like, oh, I'm so content with like how you're like my best friend right now and how we can still have physical and sexual intimacy, it just might not be as frequent as you would like. How do you blend those two together? Because for you, you're lacking. For me, I'm totally fulfilled. Like, how do you talk about that and come up with an agreement that like, okay, well, here's where I feel like I'm lacking and here's where I feel fulfilled. How do we meet each other in the middle?
I mean, I think we talk more about it. We have like more like sort of intricate conversations about it. Like we've had some really great guests lately who gave us some questions to help us like deepen our discussions.
Mm-hmm. So even though we have that best friendship piece, talking more about just the physical sexual intimacy would be really helpful.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. See, do you see that? That was like, I could feel the attunement. You were a little like gone. I was like, what's happening?
Yeah.
We got to clarify. So now I know that talking about it more often than we do is going to be really important. No expectations for anything to happen, but talking about it. Moving into section 2, sexual satisfaction and frequency. Oh, geez, here we go. All right. And this is, you guys, listen, it's okay if it's not okay. Okay? Just hear that.
Okay.
EJ, are you currently satisfied with the frequency of your sexual intimacy?
No.
That's all you had to say.
Yes. Tara, are you currently satisfied with the frequency?
I'm totally satisfied.
It's good to hear it.
I am. So it's like, again, we talk about, gosh, okay. Because we really talk about people, like to our couples, like don't get caught up on the frequency, but get caught up in like really understanding where both of you are feeling around it and like trying to kind of not negotiate, come up with agreements that would feel good for both of you. So I'm okay with the frequency. EJ's not. So what does that mean? I already know he wants to talk more about it. Got that. It's in my mind now. So over the next few days, I'll be like, oh, we have to talk about that. Even do our little question games like we do outside and be more playful. There's also for me in the back of my mind knowing that like, I'm going through some hormonal stuff right now and I'm going to see a doctor, and the hope is that like, yeah, my friskiness does increase, but if it doesn't, like it's out of my control right now, but then I'm going to try other things and I'm still doing my therapy to like, because I want that part of me to be very enhanced, right? But I'm also accepting that like, that's just where I'm at right now too, but I'm definitely willing to make those conversations happen more.
Well, and I'm willing to work through and share in healthy ways, like what it's like to be on this side. Whereas before I held it a lot and it would lead to tension and you could feel the tension. And so I'm like open much more to transparency. But like the talking thing is important to me because I don't want to always be the one to bring it up because it feels like I'm always like sort of knocking on a door.
Right, totally. No, I get it. And most people don't bring it up at all.
Yeah.
So then there's no knocking in silence.
Yeah.
Okay. How would you rate your overall satisfaction with your sex life scale 1 to 10?
Man, this is a tough one for couples because I would imagine for a lot of, even for me, like I feel like, so we're talking about total quality.
Overall satisfaction. Right now, overall satisfaction.
This is hard. It's like totally hard.
But we're also modeling how to have these conversations with curiosity, heart with ears, and not defensiveness.
Okay.
It is okay for you to say whatever you need to say for all the world to hear. Just go.
I'm going to go 4.
4? Okay. Overall satisfaction with your sex life, 4. All right. I would say mine is like maybe a 5, right? And again, if you want to go deeper into it, a 5 for me, because I wish my little body was a little bit more like feeling those frisky feelings. Like I wish, and I can't wait for that to happen. I do have hope that will happen. So, because I know that would bump it up to an 8. It'll never be a 10, And I also know that we've got kids in the house all the time. And so that's like another piece of it that kind of creates a little bit of lack of freedom to be who you really want to be, like sexually and intimate too. Again, because I know that if, we were just the two of us or we had like our own like little sex apartment, it might be different. I don't know. But we don't have the money for that. There are some people that have a lot of money and they have like their own sex apartment. Like
I think that's a rarity. I think there's a very low percentage of people who have sex apartments.
Yeah. And for me, like my story is that you're a 4 because of the frequency. But I don't know. It could be like, does it? Because for me, when we're actually intimate, it's like a 9.
Yeah.
But so for you, my story is that the 4 is around frequency and level of desire.
I would say like partially. I would say that's certainly a key component. I think it's also just like, and it's like related sort of like, it's just that freedom where it feels like, where the entire like ecosystem of our sexual life feels like there's freedom and it's not like, I don't know, like there's an ability, like it's like dancing without a script or something, that it could go any way. And like it would be nice to have that like feeling that like there's just
like it did before we had kids.
No, I don't think so. Cause I don't think I'm looking for that, just that there's like,
but that had more freedom, spontaneity to it, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I guess
it's going to be a new freedom. I get that. There's going to be a new freedom.
Okay. I get that. Do you and your partner initiate sex equally, or does one person take the lead more often?
I mean, it's probably not what would be the traditional thing in this like sort of vibe we have is that like actually we've made an agreement, and so you initiate, and
You still ask me what my frisky scale is, though.
occasionally, like
Yeah.
maybe once a week or so.
Yeah.
But yeah, like so no, there isn't a balance because I think like mostly like you initiate.
Yes. Yes. I mean, I can feel your initiation presence always. But yes, the idea is the boundary we've created right now for us is that, honey, I'll let you know when that feeling is happening, and then it's go most of the time, 10 out of 10. Okay. And then the next question is, are you able to enjoy intimacy without pressure to perform a certain way? I'm going to go with that one because it piggybacks on the initiate sex equally. I used to feel like I had to perform, like if you were initiating, like, oh, we just have to do this because we're married and it's important. And I for sure, like that was not helpful for me and my history of sexual trauma. So that is why EJ and I came up with that agreement around let me feel my own friskiness and then I'll initiate just while we navigate this, intimacy on the spectrum. And so I am now able to enjoy intimacy without pressure to perform a certain way, but that is not historical. I used to feel very anxious and nervous, and I would just be like, okay, we just have to do this. So not anymore. How about for you?
For sure. I don't feel any pressure. I mean, when it is a time where we connect in that way, it's really wonderful. I feel connected with you. So yes.
Okay, so now we're at section 3. There's just 2 more sections, and this is past experiences and current challenges. Okay, EJ, have past experiences, trauma, religion, family messages impact how you experience current sexual intimacy?
I mean, yeah, because I'm still learning how to talk about it comfortably. Like I can talk about it in the context of therapy and help other people go through it. But when it comes to like my comfortable level of sharing how I feel or what I like or what would be fun to try or whatever, like I don't have, and I grew up, I grew up in a around like where like a priest talked to us about sex for the first time, and it was just always weird. So that definitely has affected me, and but I feel like I'm trying to learn. And I think you're helpful in that process.
I love that too. It's like when we're aware of like how it does impact us, like the past stuff, and we're willing to grow from it, like that's how you get the healthy intimacy that you want to have in all different levels. I would say trauma has significantly impacted my sexual intimacy, and I'm learning how to integrate myself and know that touch is safe from you. Always. It's just like some somatic work I'm doing and some internal family systems work I'm doing. And I feel like the more integrated I feel, like the more whole I feel, that because I don't want to be dissociated or disconnected during physical sex anymore.
No, of course not.
And so, yeah, I mean, I had probably trauma stored in my body for 44 years. So I'm taking that endeavor to release some of that. And it's taking a minute, but I'm being super patient, and so are you.
Yes.
All right. Next question. Are there any specific situations or triggers that tend to shut you down or disconnect you during sex?
I would say the only trigger might be if I sense that you're uncomfortable. Because I'm really, I try to be very tuned into that.
Yeah.
Because I want you to be relaxed. I want you to be happy. I want you to like, I guess the trigger might be also like if there's like, like if it's lacking that cause and effect, that like if, like that it feels nice, like when I'm just going to use this like, cause it's tame, but if I just like touch your back, that you seem to accept the touch. Like, and if it feels like I touch and you're sort of frozen, that's a trigger because I'm like, oh, what's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that like deepening into the conversation, like, gosh, Tara, I noticed that just happened. And then I can be like, you're right, it did. Because sometimes it's just so automatic for me because it's a trauma response. Yeah. So the more you share your experience with me helps me deepen into my own experience as well. Because when you don't, it's just normal, automatic trauma response. So I love that you can share that with me. I would say I've gotten really good at sharing with you what feels triggering or not. And so I can say, like, I've got to let you know when this happens, like it doesn't make me feel safe. And you have been very attuned to that. I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And so I'm like, this is what I need. I'm getting better at it. Okay, next question. Do you feel comfortable sharing when something doesn't feel good or aligned in intimacy? I absolutely am having a better voice, letting you know, and also taking some emotional risks for sure.
Yeah, I think so. It's interesting because I can take like this a little bit out of like sexual intimacy into physical intimacy. I think I'm getting better and I'm trying to talk more because like sometimes like just like Tara, this is funny. Like Tara, you're like, she's rough. Like she's not going to walk by you and give you a little touchy on the butt. She's going to like smack you on the butt.
I know I am.
And so I'm getting better at like, Tara, like it feel nicer if that was like a little gentler.
I know. Look at what my children do to me.
A little softer, you know? And so I think I'm getting better at being like, oh, this would feel nicer. Because before I think I would either not say anything or I'd get sarcastic.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to be more like direct and like, please, just a little more gentle.
I'm a rough playster.
She's rough.
Okay, so that was section 3, past experiences and current challenges. Again, these are all awesome questions to just get on the same page, not to get triggered about. And now we're just going to go into the final section. Again, this is before our couples start our intimacy series, so we're just trying to get a good read on them. What do you wish your partner understood more clearly about your sexuality or experience during sex? Oof. EJ, that's for you first, sir.
Wow, these are hard because they're very like, you know.
But do you see how it like starts?
No, it's great. They're great conversation
Thank you.
starters.
You do like.
Yeah, you did a great job.
Thank you. I'm looking for validation there.
And I can validate that you've done a great job.
That's my anxious attachment coming up.
I would say I would want you to know that I want to feel like more free to explore, but I need help. But I want us to be in that together.
Yeah.
Like I want to explore even like just like simple things like different talking about touch and stuff like that. Like that I totally want to like and that I do, you know, one of the things we're learning a lot about and we're talking to couples about it as well as like how do you expand what sex is? This came from a question from Zach Brittle. Is I want to like I really want to explore that. Like it doesn't just have to be about intercourse.
Yeah.
Right? Like that I want to explore that but I need your help a little bit.
I got you. And
I need you to know that it's safe, that it doesn't that we can explore outside of the realm of intercourse.
Totally.
Yeah.
What do I wish your partner understood more clearly about your sexuality or experience during sex? For me, I think you already know, but maybe understand even more clearly that leading up to it, I am the most anxious ever. Like I have an anxiety of a 9. But when it's starting to happen, I'm like, this is awesome. There's like, it's a 1. So that like I need a ton of prep to reduce my anxiety or I'm in a trauma response. So I just like, I don't think anyone would realize or know how much anxiety I had because when it does finally happen and we're like sexually intimate, I'm like, oh, I really like this. This feels really good. I forget about these things because my anxiety takes away the whole experience out of it and makes you want to avoid it.
This is something that that different people in the relationship need more setup time. And so it would be interesting because you said you need like 12 hours. Right?
Totally.
And so It would be interesting like if you could say, hey, I'm trying to like, no guarantees, but like I'm getting myself into that place today where we can be intimate at some point.
Oh, yeah, that's a good
then
idea.
I could be engaged in those 12 hours with you and I could
true.
help you and I could, you know, because maybe there's things
Yeah.
that I could be doing throughout the day that
Predict,
help
plan,
you.
prepare, baby.
I'd like to predict, plan, and prepare
See,
for
this
that.
is so good. I should actually put this on the question too. What is the process like? Okay. What supports or tools like therapy, communication, touch education have helped or could help you feel safer and more connected sexually? I will say what you just said. Like if I know it takes me 12 hours to prep because of my anxiety, like letting you know that first, being really clear, like, hey, it's Friday night. I'd love to be able to be a little frisky tonight. And then throughout the day, you're like giving me that emotional connection and, hey, maybe a massage tonight because that always helps my body relax. Like that really makes me like, even if I'm having like a lot of anxiety or a panic attack, when you massage me, like it immediately makes the anxiety so much less. So yeah, just planning on that for me could be super helpful. How about for you?
What's helped me is learning to be happy with what is. And even though at the beginning of this, we talked about like, oh, my frequency versus your frequency is we have different wants and needs. But I'm also like, I've really like worked on and hopefully communicated to you that like whatever we have right now is enough.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm hopeful we're working on this and things will expand and enhance.
Totally.
But whatever we have right now is great because
You're working on acceptance. You are in acceptance.
I'm in a much higher level of acceptance.
We have a whole section on acceptance versus resignation that our couples just love, just FYI. Are there practices that you would like to explore together, like sensate focus, mindfulness, scheduling intimacy?
I think the sensate focus thing, I think like increasing like that playful connection that's outside of like kind of traditional sex, I think would be really positive for us.
I feel like what would be really fun for me, because I feel like it's also like for my feminine energy, is taking dance lessons.
Ooh.
Like salsa,
That'd be so
tango.
fun.
I feel like that would make me, it's like, because I just feel like I do so much for my kids and clients and our staff throughout the day. It's like, where do I actually get in touch with my body? Whether it's hot yoga is one thing, but with you. So I feel like doing stuff like that might actually be super helpful in connecting with that other part of me. Okay, final question on the relationship renovation, sexual intimacy inventory. For the first time ever, what is one way you want to grow in your sexual relationship over the next few months?
Connecting more like sort of throughout the week around it's something that's existing out there and not something we sort of like episodically talk about, that it is something that we're sort of like always sort of aware of and cultivating and really separating that connection to like traditional sex, but expanding what our sexual relationship is like as far as a kiss, a dance, a touch, that like we make it more robust, which I think will take some of your anxiety away and mine, because I get anxious now about it too.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, and this, like our next podcast is going to be like when you're spread too thin. I feel like over this 10 years, we've been spread so thin with our business and our kids and all this stuff, and that we haven't been able to like do the things we would want to do that would cultivate that. And I'm okay with that. Like, it's not your fault. It's not my fault. It's not our fault that happened. But that now, like, this is really important. And so we have to follow through. We can't just expect to have great sex. We have to talk about it. We have to do things that make us feel desirable individually and as a couple, and have those intimate quality time together. And so that is where I am really focused over the next few months of growing into that.
Well, Tara, you did an amazing job. First of all, just creating this.
Thank you.
And this was fun to do. I think this is a fruit of a lot of labor that we've put into creating emotional intimacy between us. And hopefully out there that you found this useful, that these questions you can use. We're definitely going to make this a way that you can get this.
Yeah.
And then also you can take something from like the tone and the way in which we talked about it, and just the fact that it's taken us time to get here, And even though we're struggling in some ways around this aspect of our relationship, we feel very together in it. And that's what matters. That's what we want to support you in.
Right. And that this is a tool for just that, getting each other's read so that you know where you both want to go.
So share this episode with a friend, give us a review, follow us on your podcast player or on YouTube. We thank you for being a part of our audience. We love the work we do. We love to hear from you. Thank you all so much.
And thank you so much for listening. As always, take care of yourself, take care of each other. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hello, Relationship Renovation listeners. Just wanted to say thank you so much for listening, for all of the awesome reviews, the comments, the feedback on our YouTube channel. We're just so grateful. We offer these podcasts free of charge. If you do want to make a donation, that's always super helpful, and you can do it in our show notes. Thanks again for listening. We're very, very grateful.